Okay, so that video is courtesy of Some Days, a company that sells period relief products, and they've been going viral just for showing men the pain that women experience during their periods. They've got a period simulator on their stomachs there, and here's how it works. Our period simulator works by causing the muscles in the lower abdomen and thighs to contract in a similar way that menstrual cramps do. When used at very low settings, they can distract from pain, but on higher levels, when placed on the right area, they can cause muscles to cramp up, similar to period cramps. Many TENS machines, which is the abbreviation for what they stand for. I'm not gonna try and pronounce those words, but they have different settings and they can cause different sensations. And they tested over 40 machines and found the ones that were the most similar to period cramps to create this simulator. So let's go back to just watching funny videos of these dudes suffering. Here's a compilation of men just yee-hawing through the pain.
10.
Alright, 10?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, let's go.
Alright, give me a yee-haw.
Yeehaw.
Yeehaw.
Is period cramp normal?
No.
Okay.
A yeehaw.
Yeehaw.
Can you give us a yeehaw for the camera?
Yeehaw.
Yeah. You want to?
Yeehaw. All right, that's all I got.
All right. It's a yeehaw.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeehaw, this is way more entertaining than bull riding in my opinion. So Some Days, the company, the people who are putting on this production, they asked one man the age-old question: do period cramps hurt more than getting kicked in the nuts? Here's how one man answered. Now keep in mind, the period simulator was on a 5 out of 10 when they asked him this.
Can you compare it to any pain that you've experienced?
Oh my God, no! It's just like everything's just tense to go.
TikTok wants to know what it feels like compared to being kicked in the nuts.
I say it's pretty close. About the same, if not worse.
Thank you.
All right.
Pretty close, the same if not worse, on only a 5 out of 10. The verdict is in. And in case you're wondering just how accurate this period simulator is, they tested it on women as well. Let's watch.
You thought you wouldn't be able to make it to 6?
This is so cool. This actually feels, yeah. 7. Yeah, 8.
Wow.
9.
You didn't even flinch.
Like it hurts, but like. And then a 10.
Yeah.
And a yeehaw.
I guess you could say that it's not her first rodeo there. And for comparison, let's actually watch what it looks like when men and women test it together at the same time. So we don't have video, or we don't have audio for this video. We don't have sound. So you can see the men are writhing in pain on the floor here. And she is just chilling. No problem. They're taking it like champs. Another guy just wincing in pain, keeling over. Another woman tries it. Is it even on? These men are really having a tough time with this. I think if we had audio, it would have been great if they asked them to yeehaw as well. There they are on the floor. And she is not happy that they cannot take this well. Cenk, what do you think of this?
Okay, so there's something I love about this, and then I got a question for you. The thing that I like is that they're having someone else feel someone else's pain, right? Like, to me, one of the key things to being a progressive is to be able to empathize with others, to help others, because you realize, oh, they might be experiencing something I'm not. They might be hurt in a way that I'm not, and I'm going to be strong for them, right? And so this allows you to empathize, and in a really unique and interesting way. In fact, I even vicariously empathize because I had no idea that period cramps were that significant. I mean, and I'm a grown ass man and I do a news show and I didn't know that, right? So that then brings me to my question. So Jessica, is that normal? Is that what happens every time or only some of the time? And is the 5 versus the 7 versus the 10, is that dependent on the woman? Is that dependent on that particular month? Help educate us.
Great questions. Happy to jump in here. Okay, so I would say it depends on the woman, number one, right? There are some people who experience really severe period cramps. And the Supreme Court right now is talking about getting rid of contraceptives. Actually taking birth control is a solution for women who have especially bad periods to help regulate their hormonal cycles so they don't experience as intense period cramps. So there are people who have such intense pain on their periods that they vomit, they're on the floor, they're in hot sweats. It can get really bad. And so I'm gonna make a political point here. If the Supreme Court bans contraceptives, it's going to create a really bad situation for the women who rely on those so that they can just like function and do basic activities during menstruation. Now, I think I'm lucky in that like I don't deal with really intense period cramps, but I have heard that they can get so bad that you're like keeling over on the floor like those guys for your first few periods. But you can see the women later on, you get used to it. You develop a pain tolerance, you get used to the pain, you kind of just learn how to live with it. It doesn't really go away. There are all kinds of medications you can take, painkillers, Midol, etc., to make it a little bit better. But yeah, they can be pretty bad. Some are worse than others as well.
I'm really glad they showed the video of the women dealing with it too, because it's clear that they've gotten used to it. And so all my life I've heard from people named scientists that women can bear pain better than men. And I have to admit that I've been a knucklehead and not really believe that. And not in that, oh yeah, no, we deal with it better. But I thought it was like, I'm like, oh, maybe that's a thing people say, but it's probably about even, right? It turns out, no, it's scientists are correct. Of course, right? But by the way, though, that's why you need stuff like this. Because if you haven't lived something, if you haven't experienced something, you might not know about it. You just don't have that perspective, and that's okay. Learn like I did, right? And those guys did in that particular example, and then open up your mind to other perspectives. And I think that this does that great. Now, having said all that, I do not want to see a pregnancy simulator. Because I got no interest in a 1 there, let alone a 5, let alone a 10.
Nope, I am actually also not in support of a pregnancy, like going into labor simulator, because I think if I ever tried it, I would just like not want to have kids. I think that's like jumping in the pool. You've just got to jump in. If the pool is really cold, you can't dip your toe in before doing it. That would be intense pain. No thank you.
No, my wife took approximately a second and a half before she was like, epidural, up and at 'em, here we go. Okay, so yeah, no, that one I believe. I didn't know enough about the period pain, my bad. But the pregnancy one I've seen up close, and that was a doozy, guys. You caught a lucky break on that one, okay? And let's try to be a little bit more understanding since we caught the lucky break.
Yeah, I think this is an important piece of education. They should show this in like sex education in high schools. And I remember like being in high school, being in middle school, when they take the health class students and they bring them all into the room. I remember they would separate the girls and the boys into 2 different rooms, and you'd get a completely different curriculum. And so it makes complete sense that tons of men all over the country have no idea what it's like when a woman has her period, or they have any idea what's going on with the woman's reproductive system. And so I think that maybe has to change as well. Maybe keep them all in the same room. Maybe get a period simulator in the mix. Let people try it out. I think it's a good idea. Republicans would love to tackle that with legislation, though.
Oh, yeah, still bring the Republicans in. Okay, then like they do a pregnancy simulator where they lock you up for 9 months and take away your freedom.
There you go.
That's what the Republicans would do.
Thanks for watching the Young Turks. Really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.